All right, guys, today we're going to be going over the Denver Broncos training camp practice from earlier this morning, starting off with a special guest appearance, which was Emmanuel Sanders. I thought that was pretty cool because he's one of my favorite Broncos ever. Of course, speedy receiver, played here from 2014 and 2019. But overall, it was a very productive day. There's a lot of camp battles on the line: linebacker, running back, receiver. In terms of the running back position, we already know that J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey are going to be the obvious top two options at the position. But in terms of the third running back, that's going to be the question. Blake Watson certainly has made a case. I thought he's looked pretty good so far. I thought he was incredible today. Did take a huge hit, but outside of that, was phenomenal. You also got, of course, Audric Estime, Tyler Bidet, Jaleel McLaughlin, I thought was pretty damn good last season, to be honest. So the running back room, there's definitely a competition there who's going to be getting the most touches, but it's also that third option is going to be on the table here because not everyone obviously is going to be able to make the 53-man roster that's competing. And then in terms of the linebacker spot, so Lavelle Bailey has impressed with Sanders and Singleton injured. Bailey continues to look sharp. He's had a few good days. Sean Payton said of Bailey, real good days. I think you're getting a player into his second year with confidence. He's in good shape. He looks like an NFL linebacker too. Bailey stands at 6'2", 225. Was a heavily recruited undrafted free agent out of Fresno State last year. Only played in 147 snaps, dressed for 10 games, bounced around between the active roster and the practice squad, of course, during the fall. But on special teams, yeah, he was pretty impactful, but he played just 5 snaps on the actual defense. So if Singleton is able to start the season, then that certainly is going to be able to hinder what he's able to give the Broncos. But if he doesn't, he's going to see a lot more playing time. And even a fully healthy Broncos defense, he still could be a rotational defender in year two. It's only year two, so there's still time here. But there's also been another linebacker who has played well for the Broncos, an undrafted free agent out of Michigan State in Jordan Turner, who, like I said earlier, there was a massive hit on Blake Watson. Well, that massive hit came by, funny enough, Jordan Turner. So just funny how things like that work out. Is these two guys both were great today, but one of them made a big hit on the other. But for Turner, he stood out. Look at last year. Justin Strata, of course, was a special teams guy. He ends up playing 8 games, sort of a fill-in starter. But it's looking like right now that's not going to be the case. I think Bailey is actually ahead of him. And I'd even go as far as saying that he's going to get first reps next to Drake Greenlaw the rest of this week. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all by that. That's what everyone is sort of saying. So that's something to monitor as well, is the linebacker position and the running back position. In terms of wide receiver, Trent Sherfield continues to gain buzz. So when Denver signed him this spring, the expectation was that he was mostly going to be a special teams guy. But he's also been making plays on offense, and the hype is growing. He's tough, and he can run. Peyton said of Sherfield last weekend, the other thing he can do is block. And so we've always had a handful of receivers that can run and stretch the field. And when you can get one that can do that and block also, you can set up play action, marries well to the run game. He's pretty competitive after losing little Jordan Humphrey this offseason. The Broncos might have found their replacement in Sherfield. Yeah, I mean, looking at Sherfield, he was with the Bills, right? Previously, I want to say. I think that sounds about right. Blocking as a receiver is so underrated. You look at the Rams and how lethal their offense is. Well, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are blocking as well as any other receiver in football. And it's just going to set up the offense too. Like Peyton said it best in play action. The Broncos are going to be running the ball a lot more this year, try to take the pressure off of Bo Nix. And with how good their O-line is, if they can get receivers outside blocking, I mean, it's going to be a tough offense too, because now you got a legit running back, of course, and R.J. Harvey, and to pair with him, you got J.K. Dobbins, who's also pretty elusive out in space. So, yeah, cool to see some names that we didn't really expect much of in camp be playing well. And the last takeaway is Bo Nix's mobility remains a strength. So Nix rushed for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns on 92 carries last season, averaging 4.7 yards per tote. It's a strength, Peyton said Tuesday when asked about Nix's mobility. I mentioned this before. When the combine came, he didn't shuttle. He didn't do a number of these drills that I thought he would be exceptional at. Later, he told me he had a turf toe, and it made sense. But when you watched him, you thought This guy is tough to sack. He won a lot of downs for us last year with his feet. Nix only took 24 sacks last season, an impressive total for a rookie, as he proved to be an elusive NFL quarterback. Yeah, I mean, when you look at Bo Nix, and this is something I touched upon when the Broncos first drafted him, and this is kind of out of the example of we're talking about, but it's kind of similar at the same time, is that the reason why I started making Broncos videos is because of Bo Nix. The night he was drafted, I got behind the camera and I said I love the pick because I saw like the Athletic and all these different outlets, ESPN, giving the Broncos a C minus or a D plus, and it had me thinking, Bo Nix is a very good prospect, man. He doesn't take sacks. He gets rid of the ball quickly. He's accurate. He's a better athlete than you think. He's always just been a winner. He's also played for Auburn. He's played for, look at, of course, when he transferred, he ends up going over to Oregon. So he has experience in two different conferences, and that's a lot of pressure too. Looking at, of course, the SEC, and then he also played in the Pac-12. I'm not a college football guy at all, so bear with me, but I liked Bo Nix as a prospect, and I think he was a good fit for Denver because of his experience. I mean, nobody's played more snaps than Bo Nix at the college level, and that translated to the NFL because he was a lot more ahead of the other rookies around him outside of Jaden Daniels. Those guys I thought were pretty interchangeable, honestly. 1A, 1B. I probably would have given them co-rookie of the year, but it is what it is. Now, Drake May was phenomenal as well, but he ended up not even starting the year. Bo Nix was ready to go right away and did make a couple of mistakes against Seattle, but as the games went on, probably the first month of season after that, Bo Nix was one of the better quarterbacks. He was phenomenal, and he leads the Broncos to the playoffs. And it wasn't a perfect offense by any means. There wasn't a lot outside of Cortland Sutton at the skill position. There was no run game. Blocking was good. Defense was good. Play calling was good. But really outside of that, it was a struggle. So now all of a sudden, the Broncos, they've got a lot more for Nix to work with. And I think they're going to be a dangerous team. The Broncos, to me, they're going to win this division in the AFC West. They were right there last season, going toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. And now they just got to get it done. They got to prove that they can beat these top dogs. But they fixed their biggest weaknesses this offseason. Of course, the middle of the defense for stopping the run game. And then offensively, of course, was just more talent at the skill position. They also improved the tight end with Evan Ingram. So it goes on and on. But before the injury report, before we even get into that, so Drew Sanders and Alex Singleton still remain sidelined. Devon Vile and rookie outside linebacker Q Robinson did not practice. And the last one was A.T. Perry, who's still dealing with that ankle injury. He's on the PUP list. Those guys were not good to go.
Look, we're fortunate to be able to have some setup. We didn't, a year ago, we knew this was getting done. I don't know that we envisioned how that was going to unfold for the fans. So